What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. First off, as always, I hope everyone had a fantastic weekend, but we got to talk about the New Orleans Pelicans for the first video of this week. So far, the Pelicans are off to a 3-7 start on the season, and they just got news once again that Zion Williamson is going to miss some time. And my immediate thought, and I even tweeted this out, I think it might be time to give up on Zion if you're New Orleans. And I'm just saying, it just doesn't ever seem like this guy is going to be healthy for a full season. It just never is going to happen that way. So in today's realistic rebuild of the New Orleans Pelicans, we're going to jump in and rebuild the Pelicans in the way I think they should go in this direction, or where they should go from here. Because like I said, if I'm New Orleans, I'm just cutting bait with this guy. It's time to give up on him. It's time to trade him for whatever you can get right now. Let someone else gamble on his health because it just is not working. Let's go ahead, jump in, and rebuild this Pelicans team in NBA 2K25. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one and subscribe if you're new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. Also, I want to get the conversation going. I can't be the only one that thinks this way, right? Like, let me know down in the comment section below if you were in David Griffin's shoes, or if you're just in New Orleans shoes in general. What would you do, man? Because like I said, I would just be done with hoping Zion Williamson is going to be healthy for a full season. It just doesn't ever seem like that's going to happen, unfortunately. It just isn't going to be that way. His body just does not hold up. And it's just unfortunate, like I said, because obviously feels like every year we talk about this Pelicans team being a dark horse. Like, they have a lot of talent, a lot of things could go right. DeJounte Murray got hurt in the very beginning of the season. Brandon Ingram's on a contract year. Who knows what he's asking for? He hasn't been traded, been in a bunch of trade rumors. But for some reason, I feel like he's probably not that valuable on the open market right now, but just based off new CBA, and he's going to want a big contract, and what he wants to pay him that. Zion, like I said, can't stay healthy. CJ McCollum, I mean, you have him, of course. Trey Murphy has not played a game this season yet. So yeah, a lot wrong with this Pelicans team. A lot of talent, but just not a lot going right for them. So we are going to simulate to the trade deadline, and that is where we're going to blow things to smithereens. I'm going to 100% trade Zion Williamson for today's video. I'm going to get what I can. I don't think any of us are going to agree on what he might be worth. And then same thing for Brandon Ingram. He is on a contract year. I think I'm going to trade him away as well. So we're completely just about to reset things, and, you know, not totally reset because there's still some talented people here. We're definitely going to go in a different direction what the Pelicans are doing right now. So let's just go ahead and get to the trade deadline so we can start that process. Today's video is brought to you by two softwares designed to help you beat the sports books and become a much profitable sports bettor. We're starting on Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer. So if you play on apps such as PrizePicks, Underdog, or any of these popular DFS apps, having a tool like this is insanely awesome to have to finding good plays right in front of you, without having to do zero research whatsoever. As you can see, we have the board loaded up right now on screen, and we do have a couple plays on the board. Yes, we got Missy over 6.5 points plus assist. As you can see, average odds of -140 across every book here. You also have a Monday Night Football play on Raheem Mostert over 8 rush attempts. Every book has this at 8.5, so clearly some value there. I will say there is quite a bit of push potential with this one, so I don't know if I love it that much, but if you don't mind the push potential, you could go ahead and take it. Josh Giddey under 6.5 rebounds looks pretty good as well. Cooper Kupp under 6.5 receptions. Just so much value on the board right now. That's probably exaggerating a little bit, but there's some value, not a whole lot, because this could be a lot better. And I also love OzJam's positive EV tool as well. This one focused on more traditional sports books, but it doesn't look like there's any, or this will probably help. I was going to say, it doesn't look like there's any plays, but for tomorrow, we already got some value popping up. So under 9.5 points on Nicholas Claxton. I see at +115 on 2 books. But you do have like FanDuel coming in at -113 and Pinnacle at -106. So clearly some value here on taking Claxton under 9.5 at +115 on BetMGM or ESPN Bet as well. So if you want to check out either of these tools to help you become a profitable sports bettor, both links down in the description below. Use code Crushables for a percentage off your first month. Other than that, let's get back to rebuilding the Pelicans. So we have started the trade deadline as promised to kick off this video. And as I told you guys, we're going to be trading away Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson to just reset things here in New Orleans. I do understand how New Orleans may not do this, obviously, but just for today's scenario, we're going to make it happen. So we're going to start with the Zion Williamson trade because there's just so many teams, I feel like, that could obviously trade for Zion Williamson services. Only 24 years old, still locked up for 4 more years. The one thing we obviously have to take into account, his health is going to be, a concern for teams. It's going to be a concern for teams to take on. It's going to be a risk for teams to take on, but he will still be worth something. It's not like he'll be worth nothing. It's just teams are going to, obviously hold that against New Orleans and say, hey, his health is an issue, so work with us here. So there are so many different teams, like I said, that could trade for Zion Williamson just based off him being so young. But for whatever reason, the team I have landed on that I'm going to send him to is going to be the Charlotte Hornets. As I said, we could choose a number of different teams here, but I'm going to choose Charlotte. The reason being is one thing that New Orleans needs really badly is a big. So I am going to try to see if we can get Mark Williams out of this trade. So Zion Williamson for Mark Williams straight up obviously does not get it done. We have to have more salary in here. We need $31 million in here to be exact. But if you are getting Zion Williamson, maybe Miles Bridges becomes more expendable. So Mark Williams and Miles Bridges starts to trade off here. And then we have to throw something back for, in order to match, or I guess to, obviously have the number of players correct according to 2K. Zion Williamson and Daniel Tice for Mark Williams and Miles Bridges. Obviously, we want a little bit more than that, but it gets the conversation started. So let's say we want this line protected Heat pick, and then we get a 2027 Hornets pick, I guess. Or actually, you know what? Better yet, we could actually do this 2027 Hornets pick. We could protect it like top 10. And then you can get like a 2029 unprotected first or something along the lines of that. So I think this could be in the ballpark of what Zion could be worth. I do understand that when it comes to trade value, no one truly knows what guys are worth. I've gotten it right before what I thought guys would be traded for. I've also gotten it super wrong before. So feel free to debate me in the comment section below. I don't have a strong opinion on this, don't get me wrong. But I would love to hear what you guys think Zion would be worth if he was traded. This is the trade we're going to do. We get a protected first. We get two protected first and a unprotected pick in the future. Mark Williams and Miles Bridges. Zion goes to Charlotte to pair up with Brandon Miller and LaMelo. I like this for both teams, and they are going to decline it. But as we know, what I've told you guys in this series for superstar trades, we will use override only for superstar trades because reflecting superstar trades in real life in 2K or, from real life to 2K is super impossible because we all know when superstars are trading in real life, they go for a ton, and 2K, you can never really pull that off. So we're going to make that trade happen. That's the only two we're doing. Brandon Ingram and Zion are the only two trades that we'll do that with. But Zion is gone. We now have our big of the future. Zion is in Charlotte, and now we can focus on Brandon Ingram. When it comes to Brandon Ingram, I'm not going to lie to you. He hasn't been traded to this point. He was in a bunch of trade rumors this offseason. I have no idea where he's going to go. I always thought Atlanta was a, destination I thought he would fit very well in, but Atlanta could have gotten him probably the DeJounte Murray trade, and they didn't. So, obviously, Atlanta probably doesn't want him. So, where would we send Brandon Ingram was the question. Like Paul George, obviously, we're not going to do, which is why we don't, for realistic, I don't like using the trade finder because Trae Young for Brandon Ingram is crazy. Hero, Zion, get him back, marking in a first. I guess there was some rumors about Utah being interested in Ingram. So, yeah, maybe, if I remember those rumors correctly. So, you know what? Maybe we'll do some with Utah because, Utah is Lloyd Markkanen. So, maybe they think Brandon Ingram could be that guy next to Markkanen. I don't hate that fit either. Obviously, Markkanen's a really nice stretch 4 or stretch 3, wherever you play him at. But I'm going to make a trade here with Utah for Brandon Ingram. I don't think Brandon Ingram's worth that much because I think he would have been traded already if he was. I think he's probably going to want a lot of money, which is why teams are hesitant to trade for him. But I do think like John Collins' salary being part of the trade makes some sense. So Brandon Ingram for John Collins, and then let's say you get like, a Cavaliers pick, which the Cavs are like undefeated in real life or some, something along the lines of that. Maybe get like one young player, maybe get like I don't know, like Bryce Sensabaugh or something along the lines of that. I definitely think that could be in the ballpark of what Ingram is worth. Feel free to, tell me if I'm wrong, but maybe you get one more first for Ingram. So let's say we get the Timberwolves pick as well, which obviously isn't going to be a good pick. Yeah, maybe a future first would be better. I wouldn't trade Ingram for just 2. Let's say we get Utah's future first. So something along the lines of this. Ingram goes to Utah, and those are the first 2 trades we'll do of the video. They decline it, but Brandon Ingram and Zion are now out of here, and now we have a very interesting rotation going to this going into the rest of the season. So yeah, Jonathan Murray, CJ McCollum, Trey Murphy, John Collins, Mark Williams, Herb Jones, Miles Bridges, Jose Alvarado, and then Jordan Hawkins. So that is your rotation for the rest of the season, which I don't mind. And I will tell you, Trey Murphy, I have pushed his potential up because I hate how this guy does not develop at all in 2K. It's really annoying and frustrating. I think Trey Murphy has all the potential in the world to be very, very good in this league. And the fact that he doesn't develop properly in 2K really pisses me off. But we have fixed that. I'm also going to push his shot tendency up like crazy because, since Zion and Brandon Ingram are gone, someone needs to step up and hopefully can have that guy be Trey Murphy for the rest of the season. So with that all being said and all that done at the trade deadline, Feel free to let me know what you guys thought about those trades, whether you hated them or liked them. The beautiful part about obviously trades and being a fan of the NBA, it's fun debating it as long as it can stay obviously civil. But let's go ahead and get into the offseason. So at the end of the season, when it felt like all hope was lost when we were at the trade deadline and obviously moved on from Zion and Brandon Ingram, we actually made it into the play-in somehow. So here's your NBA first team. Obviously, we're not going to have any Pelicans representatives here, but I'm definitely curious to see how Trey Murphy finished the season. So he was averaging like 10 at the deadline. He finished up at 14. So it'll be interesting to see what was he doing in that last game. I feel like there's, yeah, so 15, 17, 20. So yeah, I guess he was doing his thing a little bit. Overall solid, but obviously want him to be better than that if possible. CJ averaged 17 from Murray, 16 from Bridges, 14 from Trey Murphy, and 14 from John Collins. But as I mentioned, we actually snuck into the play-in. We get Sacramento round 1, and we get eliminated right away, which I'm totally fine with. I kind of wanted to be in the lottery. I don't even know if we have our pick for sure, but just in case we do, I wanted to be in the lottery. And Toronto actually made it all the way to the finals. Very interesting to see that. Minnesota wins it all, though. So Conley's going to retire on a ring. Shout out to him for that. All right, to the lottery we go. So we are projected Cleveland's pick, which is interesting because, like I said, in real life, they started undefeated at this point, and 2K has them in the lottery, which is weird. So from that trade with the Jazz, we get a lottery pick for Brandon Ingram, and then we're projected the 11th best odds, number 1. Obviously, we probably won't jump up. We get 11 and 14, which is not a bad haul to start this video. And the Nets, Blazers, Hornets have 1, 2, and 3. All right. For the staff, we will keep Willie Green around, and let's just head straight to draft night. So we do have 2 lottery picks, which is nice, which I'm feeling pretty good about. So 11 and 14, Pelicans, Cavaliers. I do want to find a way to treat CJ McCollum this offseason. I just kind of want him out of here in general. 17 points per game, 41% from 3. Every time I think of CJ McCollum, I feel like he'd be a really good fit in Detroit. They need some shooting. So let's see if they're willing to send us anything for CJ services, because I'm fine with just getting rid of him. So we get Tobias Harris to Simone Fontecchio, which I guess is okay, but does New Orleans or does Detroit want to do this? I don't think this is the craziest trade in the world. You get 2 players. You get CJ McCollum out of here, and Detroit gets themselves a shooter. I don't mind this. Tobias Harris would be fine depth. You know, I don't think it's that bad of a trade. Maybe I'll wait till after the draft, though. We might come back to that. So let's just go see what we get with our draft picks, and we can kind of determine what we do. So number 1 is going to be Dylan Harper to Brooklyn. Number 2 is going to be Ace Bailey. So Charlotte might walk with Cooper Flagg after just getting Zion. So Cooper Flagg, Brandon Miller, LaMelo, Zion. Charlotte's cooking right now, man. They're cooking. VJ Edgecombe goes to Atlanta. Hugo to Utah. Kadeen to Washington. Damn, I'm tripping right now. We got Orlando Trey Johnson. You got Liam going to Memphis. Number 10 is going to be Ian Jackson. Okay, so this is where we pick. So, this is a no-brainer. Obviously, you take Nolan Traore here, who's fallen all the way to us with 11. So, welcome to New Orleans. Definitely not the position we need, but in my opinion, the fact they fell this far, you take best player available. So, Joe Bethea, and you got Igor, and then we can absolutely take whoever else is here. So, we have Dink, who I don't mind taking. So, I'm going to walk with Dink and Nolan. That's a pretty damn good draft. So, feeling pretty good about that. Nolan's going to be, I don't know if he'll start right away because we have DeJounte Murray, obviously, but man, that has to feel good walking with these 2 guys out of the lottery. Collins is going to decline his player option, which I'm fine with. Hawkins and Sensabaugh will be accepted, and qualifying offers Brandon Boston. Probably won't worry about him too much at this point. For free agency, we have JRE, Jamal Cain, Brandon Boston, Javonte Green, all as free agents. I'm not worried about any of them. Okay. So, looking at the rotation, obviously Murray is here, who they got in a trade with Atlanta. You have Jose Alvarado still here. You just drafted Nolan Traore, which I feel great about. So, CJ McCollum is still somebody I definitely think we need to get rid of. Dink is probably going to slide down to the 3, which I'm fine with because he'll be the backup. And then Miles Bridges is our starting power forward at the moment. And then Missy, I think, is fine, hopefully developing into a backup center for us. And Mark Williams is a starter, feels okay as well. So, yeah, CJ McCollum definitely still needs to go, in my opinion, so he will be traded out of here. So let's go ahead and send Mr. Dink down to small forward. I just think that makes sense to move him there. Alvarado is going to be interesting because obviously Nolan deserves a role right away. Herb Jones, I still want to start. And then obviously Jordan Hawkins is going to become really good as well. Dink will back up Trey Murphy. We're hoping Trey Murphy develops really nicely this offseason. All right, so to me, the only thing we truly need for CJ McCollum, if they still want to do that Tobias Harris trade, I don't mind Tobias Harris coming off our bench. I just want CJ McCollum's path clearly out of here because we just have positions elsewhere. So Chicago, Memphis, New York. Like I said, if Detroit lines me up with that trade again. Ron Hall and Isaiah Stewart, I think, is a little rich, though, for Detroit to do. Stephon Castle, yeah, that's not happening either. All right, so let's go see if we can maybe make that trade happen again with Detroit, where it's like Tobias Harris and Simone or something like that. So CJ McCollum for Tobias Harris straight up, I would do. I just think that would give, Detroit just a little bit of a better shooter, and we get Tobias Harris as a backup power forward. I don't mind it. So we're going to do that trade just straight across, and I'm cool with that. So Tobias Harris will be the backup to Miles Bridges, which gives us a very interesting rotation, to say the least, going into season number 2. So let's just go see what player progression is looking like, because I don't think I'm going to bring a single person back from free agency. I think I'm fine with just letting everybody go here. Actually, yeah. So we're going to let all these guys go. Right now, it's everybody here. And let's just get straight into, like I said, player progression, which I don't even know why I'm skipping free agency that way. So player progression, Trey Murphy does not move at all. So, I boosted his potential up. And maybe he just doesn't become that guy for us. But I wanted, to at least try with him. So his potential is up. Boom percentage is up. But I guess it's just not starting there. I know his peak start age, so maybe that's why it's not starting yet. But I still have high hopes for him. Mark Williams is up to an 82. You do have Hawkins up to a 79. Tobias Harris is down. Alvarado's down, and Missy is up. So that's good to see Missy developing. And then Sensabaugh is up too. That makes things pretty interesting there. I think Sensabaugh could be like our backup power forward next year when Tobias Harris is out. So Sensabaugh and also Dink will be our backup forwards. And we'll have Miles Bridges. Probably don't really want him to be my long-term starting power forward, but he's fine for now. But we're going to be just kind of seeing how this next season goes. I'm excited to see how it goes. We're probably not going to be like a great team, but I do think we'll be interesting at the very least. So here's the rotation going into season number 2. You have DeJounte Murray, Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, Tobias Harris, Mark Williams, Miles Bridges, Jordan Hawkins, Nolan Traore, Missy, and then Bryce Sensabaugh. I'm giving Bryce Sensabaugh the nod over Dink just because of the seniority, but both these guys will play a pivotal role next year for us 100%. Tobias Harris and Miles Bridges are not going to be the long-term guys for us, but they're fine fillers for now. Trey Murphy, just like I said, he may not become that guy for us in this video, but I do know a guy that becomes a guy, and that is Nolan Traore, who becomes an absolute stud in 2K. So at least we have him for the future. He'll play about 20 minutes this season. But let's go ahead and simulate year number 2. Like I said, I'm expecting to be mainly pretty bad, but at least hopefully show some signs of development. At the end of year number 2, we were a lot better than I ever could have anticipated, to be honest with you. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be too surprised. We had DeJounte Murray, Tobias Harris. We had some vets alongside with what we had going on with our young core as well. But we did make the playoffs straight up. So no play-in. We were actually just straight up in there. We are the 6th in the Western Conference going up against a talented Thunder team. So here are your player stats. You had 19 from Trey Murphy, 19 from DeJounte Murray, 15 from Miles Bridges, 12 from Jordan Hawkins, 11 and 10 from Mark Williams, 11 from Nolan Traore off the bench, and then 10 from Tobias Harris. So to me, if we can ever, I think I kind of have my starting 5 locked and loaded for the future. The only position to me that's expendable is a power forward spot. So if we can get a power forward superstar at that spot, ironically enough, we just kind of had one in Zion. But if we started, either Murray or Nolan Traore at that point guard spot going forward, and then Herb Jones or Trey Murphy at the shooting guard small forward, and then you get a power forward alongside Mark Williams, I do think this team could be very dangerous. But with that being said, we get the Oklahoma City Thunder in round 1. So this will be interesting to see how we do against them. I will just go ahead and shrink this down to a 9-man rotation and shrink bench utilization down quite a bit. I kind of want to see, how much trouble we can give Oklahoma City in round 1. So simulating current round, and we're up 3-1, and we beat them in 5. Holy moly. How often do I beat the Thunder like that? That's actually pretty surprising and insane. Didn't really anticipate that coming, but hey, I'll take it. We get New Orleans in round 2. So to me, that only, when a team obviously overexceeds expectations, that just pushes the expectations even further next season. So we might have to be aggressive earlier than I thought in trying to pursue, the next superstar here in New Orleans. And we do have the capital to do it. It's just a matter of who will be the guy we go for. We'll find out. Well, let's somebody current round against Dallas. Now, we may have beaten Oklahoma City, but I don't know if we beat Dallas. Somebody current round, it's Luka Doncic. Yeah, we get swept. But hey, getting to round 2 and beating a talented OKC team in round 1 is still very, very amazing. You get Mavericks in the finals, and they beat the Pacers in 5. So currently the 3 teams up top we got to deal with: OKC, Minnesota, Dallas. We got to find a way to be better than them. So let's get to the lottery. And I don't know if we have a lottery pick this season from anybody, and it looks like we do via Milwaukee, so from the Drew Holiday trade. And we are going to walk away with pick number 8. So of course we can draft, but to me, this gives us the ammunition to make the trade I've been talking about. And OKC is going to walk with 1 and 2 in this draft, which is going to make them even more dangerous. So we definitely got to do something this offseason, because I don't know if we're going to beat them with drafting, back-to-back 1 and 2 with this coming draft, or what's in this upcoming draft class. So who do we go for is the question. Like I said, locked and loaded, shooting guard, small forward, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, and then DeJounte Murray is expendable because I think Nolan could start right away, to be honest with you. And then we can trade Miles Bridges' contract as well. So there's no salary that we couldn't match. So it's just a matter of figuring out, who do we want? Is there anybody available that makes sense to us to add to the squad to further strengthen our chances of being really good next year? So as I mentioned, I want to strengthen that power forward spot, and there was only a few guys that made sense. So Scotty Barnes obviously is interesting in Toronto, but they did just make the playoffs. So I don't think he's that available. To me, it comes down to one guy. Durant would be funny too, but he's also expiring, so we can't really pull that off. Orlando's interesting, because obviously Paul Banchero would be amazing, but he's expiring and they're selling right now for whatever reason. But to me, the most realistic option for us to grab to upgrade our power forward spot is no other than Lauri Markkanen in Utah. It's funny because we obviously just traded Brandon Ingram there, but it looks like that experiment has failed and Ingram is now a free agent. So I'm going to go talk to Utah about maybe making something happen with them for Lauri Markkanen services. Charlotte's really good, by the way, with LaMelo and Zion. No surprise there. But Lauri Markkanen, just coming off a season, let's see what he did last year, averaging 15 points per game. So his efficiency has gone down, but I do still think he could be the player there that, helps us out a lot. So really want to give them as the question. I don't think I'm trading DeJounte Murray in this scenario. I definitely think, obviously, Miles Bridges' contract is the one I have the interest in throwing in here. We have Dink in here as well, who I would hate to give up. So the 8th pick for Markkanen is a little rich. We could just draft, but I'm actually okay with this. Bridges and 8 for Markkanen. We're just going to go for it. I think 8 is a little rich anyway as it is, so I would just do this straight up. I don't really see the point of adding even more to this trade. This is a lot to give up. Number 8 for Markkanen is kind of crazy, and also feels a little too insane. I'm not going to lie. But I guess if you're going for it, if Markkanen was younger, I could see it, but him being 29 makes me hesitant on doing something along the lines of that. But, it'd be funny to give them Sensabaugh back. We could give them Dink instead. Let's say we don't trade number 8, because 8, just like I said, feels a little rich. We trade this top 10 protected pick. We trade our future first, and then let's trade... I don't think we have any young player I can throw in here, unfortunately. Let's trade this picks, or let's trade them their pick back. So they get their pick back. So I guess, top 10 protected Hornets pick, our own pick, and then they get their pick back from Markkanen. Makes sense to me, and they're going to agree to it. So Markkanen, welcome to New Orleans. Will be our brand new power forward here, who I do like a lot at that position to really complete this starting 5. But, and, obviously matches up with DeJounte Murray's timeline as well. So I do like that. And Nolan Traore will be, continuing to come off the bench for us. So we get to pick at 8 still. AJ goes 1. OKC is going to get AJ and Cameron Boozer in the same draft. Pretty disgusting. Jaden goes to LA. Darren Peterson goes to Orlando. Jalen Harrelson goes to Minnesota. Koa to New York, and then Nate going to Chicago. So with that, we can take Darius, we can take Caleb Wilson, we take Malik Thomas, take Chris. I definitely think we go ahead and take Darius here. I don't know if he'll play this season for us, but still probably the player we want to take. Maybe eventually we get DeJounte Murray out of here, and it'll be Nolan Traore, and we can accept these two for depth further, and then Jose Alvarado will... I think at this point, Alvarado's probably just on the outside looking in of this rotation. Kind of already was last year. So I'm fine with moving on from him. I am going to resign Mark Williams, though, because obviously he was the highlight of the Zion trade. So thank you, Alvarado. I know you're someone that New Orleans loves, but I think with just how many players we've drafted that would definitely play over him, that we got to let him go. All right, now it's time to find out what player progression is looking like for us, because Bryce Sensabaugh is going to play. Well, I thought Sensabaugh was taller than that for some reason, but I guess Sensabaugh and Dink will play our forward spots regardless. Let's go see what player progression is looking like, as I said. So 2-player progression. Does Murphy move at all? And he does not. So Murphy is just not that guy in 2K no matter what you do, I guess. I mean, he's 26 now and still doesn't really develop at all. Sensabaugh up to an 80. Dink is up to a 79. Jordan Hawkins is up. Missy is up. Murphy, no. And then, which is why we made the trade for Mark. And Nolan's already up, which is great. And Mark Williams is up. So, as much as I love Trey Murphy and I think he could become very, very good in this league, 2K does not ever seem to think so. Do I push his shot tendency down? Yeah, I think I do with Marketing coming in. So I'm going to push Trey Murphy's shot tendency down a little bit because I obviously have it extremely high. Markkanen's and Murray's is probably the one that needs to go up quite a bit. Nolan's is at a 79. So Markkanen's is obviously can go up and DeJounte Murray's can go up a little bit as well. But it should be like a spread scoring across the board just because how many good players we have. But we're going to year number 3. Feeling very interesting about what we have currently. I don't know if we're a championship team, but I do think we make things, you know, I think we're borderline contenders. I really do. I think Markkanen was kind of a sign that we wanted to go for it, and he kind of completes this starting 5. I like him and Murray. Go for it and see what this becomes. Mark Williams is your starter. It's the center's position. You have Trey Murphy and Herb Jones. They actually want to start Nolan Chora right away, and then they want to start Dink as well. Very interesting. So let's take a look at what this would look like. So it's Nolan Chora, Herb Jones, Dink, Markkanen, Mark Williams, DeJounte Murray, Trey Murphy, Jordan Hawkins, Sensabaugh. And yeah, I just run a 9-man rotation for the. Actually, we need to run a 10-man rotation and get Missy some minutes. We need some backup center minutes here. So Missy will play. I'm not sure I agree with benching DeJounte, and I mean we could low-key do some weird. We could move. Okay, actually, let's do this. Let's make this rotation different because 2K. I mean, we gotta really think about what we're doing here because we're gonna move Herb Jones to small forward. We're gonna move DeJounte Murray to shooting guard, and then Nolan Chora, Herb Jones, and DeJounte Murray all start together. So that feels good. Herb Jones will start over Dink once I fix that. Dink will come off the bench. I do like Dink, but I still think he should probably come off the bench. So let's make sure for now he's a non-starter because that's just probably the best way to do things right now. I do like Herb Jones as a starter for this team. Obviously, a lockdown defender in the starting 5 is necessary. So Nolan Chora, DeJounte Murray, Herb Jones, Markkanen, Mark Williams, Trey Murphy, Hawkins, Sensabaugh, Dink, and Missy. I can rock with that. We'll see how this goes. I'm excited and optimistic that this could be a very interesting team in the West this year. Will we go win a championship? Not sure, but I do think we're going to be a tough out for whatever team we meet up in the playoffs, assuming we do make it in. So at the end of year 3, we were a lot better than I anticipated last year, and we're sure as hell a lot better than I anticipated this year. Shea wins MVP, AJ's your Rookie of the Year, Keontae George 6-man, Wemby Defensive Player, and Nolan Chora is your most improved. Yeah, having him join the starting 5 and just be a player in this team is probably helping out with the record we held. As you can see, 64-18 on the season, when Coach of the Year. Absolutely insane. Was not expecting this good of a season, but here we are regardless. So no NBA representatives or anything like that, but still a lot to be excited about. First seed in the Western Conference is not something I saw coming, but player stats wise, it's like I said, I kind of felt like it'd be a spread scoring, and it is. 19 from Nolan, 18 from Murray, and 18 from Markkanen. So all really solid stuff, but none of this matters if you don't go out there and perform and get it done in the playoffs. So we draw Sacramento in round 1. So we will draw to a 9-man rotation, of course. So they do want to start Trey Murphy, which I can respect over Herb Jones. That's fine. So Sacramento in round 1, they have Fox, Monk, DeRozan, Murray, Sabonis, Mitch Robinson, Devin Carter, Colby Jones, and Zach Collins. So here we go. In the current round against Sacramento, and we will beat them in 4. Okay. Now I draw Utah, who we made the trade with a couple of times this video already. We traded Ingram to them, and then we traded Markkanen away from them to us. So they have Luka now, which makes sense why they're here. So Luka with Middleton, Hugo, Jabari Walker, George, Cody Williams, Miles Bridges, and Taylor Hendricks. Notice how I combined Bar Smith Jr. and Walker Kessler. Combine their names, and there's actually a player, as you guys know, in the NBA named Jabari Walker. So don't get confused. I was just reading their names and combining them together. Nobody probably thought that because Jabari Walker is not really a popular player, but still felt like I had to point that out. So we get Utah in round 1. So Luka Doncic definitely has me shaking a little bit. We do win game 1, and we win game 2. So far we're undefeated in the playoffs, and that remains that way. 3-0 lead on Utah, and are we gonna beat them, or are we gonna blow a 3-0 lead? And here it comes. So yeah. All right, let's get to sim casting because I'm not trying to be the one that blows a 3-0 lead. It has never happened in history, and I'm not going to be the first to do it. And we might be the first to do it because we're about to go to a game 7. So get ready to learn Chinese, buddy, is what I'm trying to tell myself right now, because holy moly, this is scarier than I would ever have thought this could be. It looked like we were about to have a fun one-way ticket to the conference finals, and now we got a sweaty game 7 here. So we do have the lead right now, but I'm never going to doubt Luka Doncic. I feel like he's going to get him back in this game. And no, he's never going to. We're going to win. All right, so we just need a little bit of a heart attack before we get to the conference finals. DeJounte Murray, 33, Marketing with 22, and we draw Memphis in the conference finals, Charlotte and Indiana. Now, it would be poetic justice and so much fun if we draw Charlotte. This is a damn good team, by the way. We need a Charlotte-New Orleans finals so badly, but Indiana's a damn good team in their own right as well. We haven't even looked at our own opponent, which is Memphis, so let's see what Memphis got going on. So Memphis has John Morant, Liam, Bane, Sohan, Zach Edey, Gigi Jackson. So Memphis has a tough team as well to deal with, but I do think they look the weakest out of all the teams remaining here in the Final Four, I guess. But with that being said, I probably just jinxed it. Memphis is going to kick my ass. Let's simply current round against Memphis, and they're up 2-1. There it is. I told you guys it was coming. So we got to even the series up, or we're done for. So let's see if we can even the series up in this game 4, because we go down game 5 3-1. I don't like our chances. Obviously, no one does when you're down 3-1, and we are in fact going to go down 3-1. And I told you guys it's going to be super ironic once I was talking crap on Memphis, because they heard me loud and clear, and now they're going to make me pay for the words I have spoken. Now we might force a game 6, which we will. So game 6 will happen at least. So now it's time for that game 6, and this will be in Memphis. They want to fix rotation again. They want to start Sensabaugh for the playoffs, which are for the conference finals, which is interesting. This is the force of game 7. You got Charlotte, Indiana, and a game 7. All right, so in Memphis, game 6 to force the game 7. Can we do it is the question. They start off hot in the first quarter. If we ever get back in the game, we do. We take the lead. Now, can we keep it is the question. It looks like we will force a game 7. So we're going to a game 7, and it's Charlotte, Indiana on the other side. It is time to find out who makes it out of the East, and it is going to be Indiana. Okay, so now we have to take care of business in this game 7 against the Memphis Grizzlies to get to the finals. So here goes nothing. Game 7. Did we get this far just to lose in the big moment? We take the lead for a second. They take it back, and they're starting to run away with it a little bit. If we ever get back in the game, we're down 14 with 5 minutes left. I think we made it this far just to lose, unfortunately. Man, that sucks. That's heartbreaking. But good thing for us is Nolan Shore is about to get better. We will have to resign Murray, which I'm definitely going to do. I think we run the same team back. We were so close to the finals. Unfortunately, fell short of our goal. Halliburton in Memphis, and then obviously, Halliburton from Indiana, John Morant from Memphis, and the Indiana Pacers just smoked them, and we lose in 7 to Memphis. So that sucks. Here are your retirements, but let's get, like I said, straight to it. So lottery time. I don't think we have a pick. Oh, we do. So we have a pick from Miami, which is lottery protected, I believe. So we ain't going to get it anyway. So Miami's getting 11, and then we have a pick from no one, it looks like. So Atlanta has our pick from the DeJounte Murray trade, I presume, and we have our head coach gone. If Willie Green is available, I will just bring him back. I don't know if he is. I've not seen him up to this point. Nick McMillan, who used to coach the Pelicans. Green, are you still out there? I have no idea if he is there or not. Willie Green, where'd you go? There he is. I was about to say. I mean, we had success with him, so I'm just going to bring him back. All right, so we don't have a draft pick at all, which I don't think we do. We have, I was just not even paying attention. We have number 6. What am I doing? So, for whatever reason, I did not see my name with pick number 6, but let's get straight to pick 6, and let's see what we got. Hugo goes 1. Tyron Stokes goes 2. Number 3 is going to be Brandon McCoy. Caleb Gaskins goes, and Elijah Arenas goes. Okay, so Costanza and Ariza. Who do I want? I'm going to take Sadiq White. I'm going to take Sadiq White here. I don't know why, but he has a Hall of Fame ceiling, and we need the backup power for the future. He won't be able to play right away, but still have him for the future is feeling good. So Murray was a team option, which we will accept. And then qualifying offers, we got Sensabaugh as a free agent. These other two don't matter too much, but is there any other free agent I need to worry about? No, just Sensabaugh, who he played for us, but he was pretty good last year, and he might even develop even better. So Murray has moved to shooting guard officially with Hawkins backing him up, and then Darius is going to get a role this year, which feels great. Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, and then once we resign, obviously, Sensabaugh, who was, listed. So we have 4 small forwards, but that's fine because all of them are very talented. We have Markkanen at the 4, and then Mark Williams and Missy. So yeah, I think we just simply wait for Sensabaugh to come back, and we just run it back because we were 1 game away from the finals. 1 game away. So I'm comfortable just running it back with the projection of Nolan going up even further. Maybe some other guys will go up as well. And, this is Murray and Markkanen's window. So those guys are all back in the qualifying offer. So Nolan's already up to a 90. Man is a stud. Darius hasn't even played last year. He's up to an 83. Mark Williams is an 85. Herb Jones, 84. 82, Jordan Hawkins. Murphy, 82. So, yeah, all this is looking fantastic. So, with this all being said, Dink is up to an 86, which is crazy. So, he might start this year. There's probably going to be no way to keep him out of the starting 5. So, we can actually go ahead and take that, don't start tag off of him, because I definitely think with him being an 86 overall, he's got to find a way in there. So, we're going to take that off of him. Oh, whoops. We don't want that anymore. I didn't even know it was an option. Season 1. Okay. Force non-starter on season 1. Very interesting. Okay. I'll have to keep that in mind for the future. But let's go ahead. It's only to the end of year number 4. And hopefully this time around, we avoid a game 7 and get to that finals. So another good regular season, ending up coach of the year for Willie Green once again at 64-18. Do we get Nolan to make one in All-NBA team this time around? We do. All-NBA 13, 19.5, and 10 points per game. So obviously a stud that fell to us at 11 we felt great about. Here are your player stats. He had 19.5 from Nolan, 18 from Murray, 17 from Markkanen, and 14 from Trey Murphy, 14 from Dink, 12 from Darius, and 11 from Mark Williams. So without further ado, we're back in the playoffs once again as the first seed. Houston in round 1. Very talented team in Houston. Let's get to our 9-man rotation for the playoffs, and let's see if we make it as far as we think we will. Somebody current round against Houston, and they are going to allow us to beat them in 5. And now we get Portland, who has Scoot, Sharp, Ace, Flingen, Ayton, Robert Williams at the 4. Or, sorry, not the 4. It is at the 4. So Robert Williams at the 4 with Anthony, Denny, Avdia, Isaiah Stewart. Okay. Portland has a good team, but hopefully we are better. Somebody current against Portland, and we will be down 3-2. We're going to have to win 2 straight to get ourselves into the conference finals. If we don't, that will more than likely be all she wrote for us. So here we go in the conference final, or in the second round to get the conference finals, I should say. It looks like we might force a game 7, and we do. 129-120. Game 7 coming our way in New Orleans to get to the conference finals back-to-back years. Looking okay right now. Do we get it done? As long as we don't blow a lead, we should be there. I think we're going to get there as long as we don't blow a massive lead in 3 minutes. And it looks like we are going to make it back to the conference finals. We were in a very scary position there, but we get it done. And now I draw the Oklahoma City Thunder. We beat earlier, but as we remember, they had number 1 and number 2 overall in the 2026 draft class. So AJ's on that team now, and they find themselves up 1-0. We even it up, though. Win by 1 point. And now we got to even this series up, or we're probably done for here. So game 4, a very important game 4 in OKC to get to an even series before we go back to New Orleans. And OKC is not having any of that. They are going to bounce us here probably very early on in this process. Probably won't even get to a game 6 if I had to guess. Game 5, if we can win it, that makes things interesting. And it looks like we might force a game 6. We are going to force a game 6. We're not dead just yet. And now for the game 6 in OKC to force a game 7. Can we do it is the question. Are we going to get blown out? The close one, I don't think we're going to get it done, though. So unfortunately for us, we are going to fall short to the Oklahoma City Thunder. 106-135. That's probably where I'm going to call the video, to be honest with you. So I'm going to jump in and play a little bit with the team we assembled. I mean, unfortunately, this Thunder team is just going to be way too hard to stop with what they got going on. So I just don't ever see us getting past this OKC squad with AJ and Boozer. That's pretty insane. We have a pretty good team as well, but the fact that they bullied us for most of the series is not going to be high hope going forward. And I'm jumping for no reason. But Mark Williams is going to get the block. Hey, maybe I should have just jumped in earlier, dude. Maybe I could have led the comeback. Oh, imagine I hit that 3. Holy moly. That would have been freaking amazing, but I'm not that good. So, Shea is going to take it to the basket. He's going to shoot it. Not going to go in. And now we're going to hand it off into Darius in transition. I'm going to hand it to Nolan again. Going to shoot a 3 and hope for the best. It's not going to go in. 109 and 135. 55 seconds left in the clock. Shea is going to not inbound it. What am I talking about? He's going to dribble it up top. We got J-Dub getting the ball. J-Dub's going to get have a screen from Chet in the middle. Chet going to shoot a 3 over Mark Williams' face, and he's going to splash that. And this game is over, so it doesn't really matter about clamping up on defense at this point, but maybe I should have shown a little bit better effort there. All right, give me a screen, Mr. See if I can hit this 3. Just shooting 3s at this point, and I can only make the first one. Everything else has been just not good. So Chet is going to have the ball. He's going to give it to Shea. Shea is going to take it down. Going to hand it off to Chet. I'm jumping this time. I'm there with Mark Williams. He's going to pass it out, and that's a wide open J-Dub in the corner. He decides not to pass it to him. Shay's going to call glass. We're down 31. We'll see if I can make something happen here with 10 seconds left in the clock. I'm just going to go ahead and give it to Nolan in the corner, and that'll be another missed 3. Can I get a... There we go. You know what? Buzzer beater. 111 to 140. I'll take that win. All right, guys. We assembled a really good team in New Orleans, but unfortunately, it could not get it done. Back-to-back years of falling short to the finals. Thank you guys for watching. I will see y'all in the next one. This is Crushables. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.